Now, Camino's code enforcement is unique in that it works alongside building permits, business licensing, etc., but it has its own unique functionality required by code enforcement. The first piece uh, differentiates it from a building permit and those type of things is the idea of a violation type, and we give the organization the ability to set up their code violations within the system, organize them with both, the title and the description of the violation so it can be found easily. Now, in Camino, we give we give you the ability to allow residents to be able to come in and bring up code violations that they see, right? Tall grass in a neighbor's yard, a building that's falling over, whatever, to make you aware of it. But what we are hearing more is that code violations are generated, a majority of them are generated by code officials out on the street. And so we give you the ability, you can see here, we have your own separate place to log these cases where submissions, building permits are considered submissions. But in this case, as a case, we can come over as a code enforcement officer. I see a new violation and I can log a new case. By selecting that, you have a drop down option of different types of violations. All these can be configured and customized exactly to your needs. But in this example, we're going to go with tall grass violation. In this example, it's pretty simple. We're just looking for an address, right? 2807 Cheyenne Avenue in Pueblo. We give you the ability, we show you the property with a bullseye here and allow you to continue that process. So now at this point, within Camino, we also, as with building permit processes, allow you to create your own workflow process through the code enforcement process. How does it go from step to step, from violation to maybe secondary violation to the court system? So you can build that in here within our courts, within our workflow system. And in this example, we can workflow this one through to from a new case to opening the case, right? Setting it up. And in updating this status, you can see that Camino gives you a location to be able to include those violations that were identified. So in the example here, we could come in and identify things like maybe a deck that had an issue, or an abandoned vehicle that was out there, or even tall grass that was out there, right? And so being able to come in now, confirm these violations, we can also give you the ability, as you can see here, to be able to also include notes. So in the example here, we can include a note about a dilapidated deck, or in the example here, we could talk about this, let the individual know about the car that's up on blocks, or in this example, letting them know about tall grass in their backyard, right? So there's multiple violations here, and we can confirm these violations, right, and enter them into this process. Within here as well, you can see that we can have this initial inspection. In this example, I could say this was accomplished by me with a specific due date of today, and coming in and marking this as complete, right? I accomplished this piece. Even the ability, in this example, we're setting it up to allow the code enforcement officer to include pictures. So we have a picture in this example of the abandoned vehicle that he snapped with his with his iPad, and even the ability here to include internal notes for the department. Maybe as an example here, watch out for angry dog, and that can be posted internally for individuals there as well. So in this example now, we've completed those initial steps, and we can even update the status in this example to a status of first violation issued, right? So we've identified these things. We've now initiated the first violation has been issued. And with this, in this workflow step, we have a violation and a follow-up inspection that will happen down the road. I also wanted just to point out something I forgot to point out initially is with these cases, you can see other cases at this location. So if there were multiple cases that were open, you can see that, but you can also see submissions at this location, right? So if there were permits that were also pulled for this, and on the flip side as well, the permitting side can see the open code violations, and maybe, your decision, but maybe not allow them to apply for a permit till the code violations have been resolved. But coming to the violation letter now, in this example, in issuing this document, you can see, number one, we're pulling the case number information, address, etc., from the violation that was generated. But in issuing this document, you'll see how Camino also now brings in not only that front page, but now a list. And let me expand this view so you can see it better. A list of those violations, right? Including those comments that we had. So the 3 violations, as well as the comments, are included in that piece. This could be printed off from your car, put on the front door, however it works for your organization. And for this follow-up inspection, maybe as an example, I assign it to an individual. I'll assign it to myself and give these people a week to remedy the issues that we had. So scheduling it for myself for the 17th at 8 o'clock in the morning and scheduling that inspection. Now, let's say in this example, well, we can close this out and you can see this follow-up inspection that's now been set up for a specific time and day. We can come in and rectify some of these issues. We can also, drag additional photos in that we see. We can also, in completing this inspection, we can pass or fail them, right? In this example, they haven't automatically updated everything here. And in completing this step and closing it out, one of the things we could also do in this situation is, let's say as an example, hey, they mowed the lawn, right? So we can say, hey, this has been resolved and save it. So this has been resolved. The other 2 are still open, and we'll update our status now to second citation issued. Again, this workflow is customizable to your workflow step. But now in updating this status, you can see we have another violation letter and a follow-up inspection. With this violation letter, if I come in to issue the document, the big thing I want everyone to see here is now this document, if I expand it here again, this document is going to now only have the 2 violations that remain, right? The one that was resolved isn't a part of it, but they still haven't removed the vehicle from the front yard or fix the deck in this example, right? So allowing you to go through this process, workflow this process all the way through to whatever workflow step you have, potentially all the way down to maybe going and passing the information to the legal system that you have there within the city or county, and going through all these various steps, we can workflow through that whole process. Maybe if it still isn't corrected, it workflows into the legal proceedings where fines are placed on them or they go to court, whatever the issue is. But now with these processes as well, the city or county can also view all these code enforcement violations on an active map. So we can see everything, permits and code violations, or we can simply come in and filter down to just code violations that are occurring, right? And be able to see those on a map, maybe unresolved code violations, and being able to see them on the map as well. Same thing with cases, the ability now to see all your code violations, see the various statuses that they're in, but also be able to filter them down, filter down to the information that you care about, and giving you the ability to export that data out into a report that could be passed down to council or however it works best for you. So that's just a short example, certainly a lot more functionality to share in code violations. Hopefully you found it helpful.